Once upon a time, in a kingdom far away, there lived a beautiful young princess named Snow White. She had skin as white as snow, lips as red as roses, and hair as black as ebony. Snow White's mother, the queen, passed away when she was very young, leaving her in the care of her father, the king. As Snow White grew older, she blossomed into a kind-hearted and gentle soul, loved by all who knew her. However, her wicked stepmother, the new queen, was envious of Snow White's beauty. She couldn't bear the thought of anyone surpassing her own beauty. One day, the jealous queen consulted her magic mirror, asking who the fairest in the land was. To her dismay, the mirror replied that Snow White was the fairest of them all. Consumed by jealousy and rage, the queen ordered her huntsman to take Snow White deep into the forest and kill her. However, when the huntsman saw Snow White's innocence and beauty, he couldn't bring himself to harm her. Instead, he let her go, warning her never to return to the castle. Lost and frightened, Snow White wandered through the dark forest until she stumbled upon a small cottage. The cottage belonged to 7 dwarfs who worked in the nearby mines. When they found Snow White, they welcomed her with open arms and offered her shelter. In return, Snow White took care of the cottage, cooking and cleaning for the dwarfs. Meanwhile, back at the castle, the jealous queen discovered that Snow White was still alive. Determined to eliminate her rival once and for all, she concocted a plan to poison Snow White. Disguising herself as an old peddler woman, the queen tricked Snow White into biting into a poisoned apple. As soon as Snow White took a bite, she fell into a deep slumber, with no hope of waking up. The dwarfs returned to find her lifeless body and mourned her deeply. They crafted a glass coffin for Snow White and placed it in the forest as a tribute to her beauty and kindness. One day, a handsome prince passing through the forest stumbled upon Snow White's glass coffin. Captivated by her beauty, he leaned down and kissed her gently. To everyone's amazement, Snow White stirred and opened her eyes, awakened by true love's kiss. The prince and Snow White were overjoyed to be reunited, and the dwarfs rejoiced at her awakening. They returned to the kingdom together, where Snow White confronted the wicked queen. Justice prevailed, and the queen's evil deeds were exposed. Snow White married the prince, and they ruled the kingdom with fairness and kindness. The dwarfs visited often, and they all lived happily ever after, proving that true love and goodness can conquer even the darkest of magic.